All right, everybody, buckle up. We got a good one here today because today on the Old School Interview, we are talking with the one and only Shane Powers. Shane, how are you?
God, I missed that bell.
Yes.
I missed that bell. I should have that bell in my life. I should just have
You want
that's
one?
amazing. Yeah, you have a branded one, an RHAP
We
bell?
don't. We don't have a branded bell, but I can
Then I don't
definitely.
want one. I'll get
Okay.
my own bell unless there's a
We got to
branded
figure
RHAP.
out if you can connect us with a bell of like somebody like I need like somebody who's like a metal worker,
A bell maker.
a bell maker. Yes.
By the
Now,
way, in the 1800s, if you were a bell maker, I gotta believe you were a beast. You were probably that's a craftsman thing, right?
yeah,
Middle Ages making
you probably
bells.
needed all sorts of things for like the town crier and all sorts of things.
Why do you not have a branded RHAP bell? These people would go
Yeah, that's a
insane
good
for that.
idea. Like, well,
$7, it costs you 90 cents to make it, about a
let
dollar
me talk
10.
to some people and see if we can figure out how to get that going because it's a bad idea. And this is why Shane Powers is what is your official title? Co-founder of.
I am, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. My title is Insane Life, the best life of all time. But
Yeah.
currently, it is co-founder of Joey Coffee, which has been a
Yes.
7-year labor of love. It's been amazing.
Yes, a savvy businessman, and that is how he can come up with branded RHAP bells just like that.
By the way, you should just give them away to the Patreon people. The guys that sign up, you get your bell, you get the
Hmm.
ting. It'll be a thing. They'll bring them to the
Well, that would be
swap.
bad for audio. You wouldn't want that, but
That,
you
well,
know,
no, you just say, hey, bring them to the thing. We're gonna do a little group
yeah,
RHAP thing.
yeah.
How
Or
was
maybe like
that
a
thing?
basketball team could do that. Like the guy who's going to take the foul shots. Like everybody's just like ringing the bell right behind him. Like that could be like
The
yeah. They
Bob
just have like
Cousy of
thunder sticks.
RHAP
Yeah,
bells.
yeah,
You could have a contest. Who can
yeah.
ring the bell the most times? Which
Yeah, who
and
can go to like the Masters and like ring the bell like a Baba Booey?
How was Wednesday in San Francisco? It's so
Oh,
crazy.
it was crazy.
You put this shit on the
It
road.
was crazy. And we didn't even need you to come in and yell at the audience. That's how good it was. And we had the biggest crowd we ever had. We had over 1,000 people in San Francisco. And so it was a really great night and everybody, good vibes. It was very, very fun.
Can I tell you something? I
Please.
saw something about it like a couple days before it was going on, and there was like a half a brain for me to jump on a plane and go and surprise you.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, because he's not going to give me the reception I deserve, and then I'm going to be mad at him. So that's how I didn't do that. Because what
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 kind of
happens if I just
reception?
show up and surprise you?
I would love it. I would love it.
Would you be thrilled? Would you
Yeah.
bring me on? Would you just say, hey, there's the
Yeah,
fucking guy
I would
that
be thrilled. What kind of reception would you want? What would
I
be the
don't
right
know,
way
rousing,
to receive you?
rousing.
The crowd would go nuts like when it's the Royal Rumble and now here comes somebody that you didn't even expect to come out.
All right, so I give you my word. At one of these events, I'm going to just show up unannounced,
Yeah.
and the crowd will rouse. You will give me my just due. It's so nice. You know, you didn't have me on for many years, and I think it's because I mean,
Was that my choice?
I think it was your choice. Yeah, there was a few times I was like
You sure
trying.
about that?
There was well, I don't know if it's your choice or somebody in your
Oh.
sphere that wouldn't.
Wait, it depends when. When are you talking about? You talking about recently or you talking about in the old days?
No, like in the last few years,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been a persona non grata, right?
I wouldn't say persona non grata. I would say that there was a point where I think that there would be I would be a little worried about like what is going to be the audience reaction, and
Oh, be,
I'm saying you know what? Let's talk to Shane.
you think the audience would have been upset that I would have been on?
I think that there would be elements in the audience that
Right.
would say, Rob, what are you doing? That Shane's takes. We don't agree with 100% of what he's saying. Why would you talk to him?
See, I think I know when it happened, but you're not gonna admit it one way or the other. But I had an insane hour-long rant about Jeff like 4 years ago, and then
Yeah.
that's when you just stopped calling me. You were like, I didn't hear from you, and then I was like, nah, this guy. Is somebody pulling the string on
Where
him?
did
And then
you was it on the podcast or on social media? You had a rant about Jeff.
it was on. It was on. I did a pod, and then I got into it, and then I got. It was. You know what it was? Is I was.
Hmm.
It was Lynn and the way that they handled
Yeah.
letting go of Lynn, and I was upset.
Yes, you love Lynn Spillman,
I do.
and listen, I hear what you're saying. I think that Lynn's casting choices. I think that she had a point of
Stop
view.
it. I know. Stop it. We can't even get into this.
Yeah.
We can't start talking
Okay.
about casting and like new. Unless you. How about this?
I would
I'm
like to. We don't have to
oh,
sort of go there right now.
okay. Great.
Yeah.
What do you got
Can
for me?
I go circle back to what if you showed up at the live show? Because I really I would love it if you showed up at the live show because
I would. I'm
I've
going to show up at a live show, but I want to do it unannounced because I. Here's the
yeah
deal. I really. Everybody knows this. Good, bad, or indifferent. You are, for me, an example of working your ass off, believing in your vision, not. I'll give you some flowers. I mean, giving them to you.
yeah
Because I did not. I mean, dude, 15, 20 years ago, I was like, I remember the first time I ever went on, I was like abusive and 34 and mean. And I'm like, this idiot. And you were ahead of the game by like a decade. And then when you have really built yourself into something. And then I think about 10, 12 years ago, I remember just thinking, this guy has really proven himself, A, to himself, but B, to me. And you've done, it's fucking unbelievable what you've done.
Well,
It's
thank you.
crazy.
Yeah, I was going to tell you that time when it was the 10-year anniversary of Rob's Podcast, and you came to and we like talked about this moment when it was the 15-year anniversary earlier this year. We did 15 moments of lore, and this was one of the greatest moments. And we even played it on the podcast when you came up on the stage and
No, I
everybody was
made the top
talking.
15 moments.
Yeah, it was an all-time moment for me when you came on and you gave me such a testimonial in front of everybody and told all the reality stars to shut the
Shut
F
up.
up. And it was just an all-time great moment.
Well, I love that.
It's one of the highlights of my career.
And you deserve that. You deserve everything that you've got coming. And I was always very like
And
I was always took you kind of silly and it was like not hard on you, but was like a prick. And then I'll never forget. It was that 10-year anniversary. I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy has really, really built something. And
you
it's
came
just
up and
cool.
you told them to all shut up, and he's like giving you a platform to come on and you could at least let him talk. And you said, I'm paraphrasing what you said, that this guy is an example of what happens when every day 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. And it was incredible. And it was just the greatest like impromptu testimonial that anybody's ever given me. And
Well,
so I will always appreciate that.
I'm happy for you, and I'm happier for your children and your wife, and you're rich, and you're in North Carolina, and you build houses, and you're writing books, and who would have thunk, Rob? Definitely not you, right?
No, not me, really at all. And luckily, nobody ever like gave me a job at some point that I would have like walked away from this at any point.
Fascinating, right?
Like I'm really a my own failure was like the greatest thing to get to this point because like had anybody just said like will you come work for me for
$200 a year in
$40,000 a year?
benefits.
Yeah. Where do I sign up? Yes, please.
Well, listen, so there's some fortune involved, there's some luck involved, but the more than anything else, dude, you worked so hard. I would be like, how is this all this back end shit? And I could say, by the way, the content is 1,000 times better, the way you've grown everything. I've got my girl is obsessed with you. She's a huge Big Brother fan. I'm like, the feeds are 24 hours a day, and
Yeah.
it's just, and you've got that covered, and you've got that fucking lunatic Taryn or Tehran or whatever.
Taryn, yep.
That fucking guy, whatever
Mhm.
he is getting paid is not enough.
Yeah. You
He
sure
is
about that? You
insane.
sure about that? You don't know.
Oh,
You don't
that
know.
dude's encyclopedic knowledge of whatever he's
Hmm.
talking about with that Big Brother shit is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm thrilled that you're here.
I am too.
We could talk
How are the
about
babies? Hold on. I know they're not babies.
everybody's doing good.
Okay,
Everybody's
good.
doing good.
All right,
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
Wife looks
So
good.
thank you,
Sorry.
thank you, thank you.
No disrespect in the most
Appreciate
respectful
it.
way possible. She
Appreciate
looks
it. Yeah.
fucking great. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Survivor 49. Let me start there. Okay. Are you watching this season?
The answer to the question is yes.
Yes.
I fall asleep a lot.
Yeah.
It's on my DVR and I'll put it on like at the end of the night. And, there have been seasons in the past where and it usually takes 4 or 5 episodes and then they get you and the hooks are in. This one's been, and again, they've been on for 50 seasons, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's a marvel and an institution. And it's just such an exceptional concept. And it's just so hard to be on TV for 25 years. And I could give them some constructive criticism. They don't want to hear it. They're not going to listen to it. But it's tough for me. And again, maybe that's because there's a version of Survivor that I've played. There's a version of Survivor that I fell in love with. And this version of Survivor, whether people agree with me or not, it's just different. It's different with the amount of time. It's different with the way that like they don't, that they don't starve them. Human beings are different now than they were 25 years ago. And there's the lovey, cuddly, kumbaya. We're all camping at Jeff's
Yeah.
family or Jeff's funhouse. It's the elements that when they tap on the elements that harken back to the old Survivor, I enjoy it. If that makes sense, the
Sure.
competitions, uh, when they allow people to be who they are. That Savannah girl is clearly, she's got a little bit of that like villain thing going on, and I feel like there's so many of them. There's the few that all look. There was like 3 of them that all really looked alike, and one of them got voted off last week. But the more like human one that's still on, she's kind of interesting.
Sage.
Sage.
Yeah.
There's no. In order to tell stories that where you want people to like get engaged, there has to be conflict. There isn't
Yeah.
a ton of conflict anymore. Would you agree?
I would agree 100%. And I have, recently revisited I was watching some clips from Survivor Panama. And that was a season where there was interpersonal conflict.
We were Well, yeah, I mean, they didn't get lucky because Lynn's very good at what she does, right?
Yeah.
And I think that the dynamics of all of that were incredible. Yet there wasn't also, there's the poor Jesse and this Jeff guy. It's just impossible to cast now because all these people are casting they're most of the people. It was like the 6th year, and it was toning down. It was in that first lull, I think.
Hmm.
Right, you and those first 7 or 8 seasons were like 50 million people a week were watching. I sort of was cast in the first lull where it was kind of settling down a little bit. Still had like 20 million viewers, but it was not the thing. And I feel like people were just not as aware about being on camera, right? There were people that were worried about being on camera on the show, but there were very few and far between. It was still, I want to go for the experience of a lifetime. I don't want it's different now. People are like social media happens. So if I go on this show, I'm gonna have fun, but then I'm also gonna get 100,000 followers, and it's just a
Not on
different.
Survivor.
Not on Survivor. I don't know what any of that means. I don't know
Yeah.
how. I don't know. I
Well,
don't know
I
how
just say
it
that you
works.
don't get that kind of like if you go look at like what the current new era players get in terms of followers from being on the show. The Big Brother people, maybe, you go look at like the Big Brother audience will follow you on Instagram, but I think it's few and far between people that get 100,000 followers from being on Survivor.
Got it. Are people not watching the show anymore?
It's hard to say in terms of. I have found that there is. It's. I have said, and I'll speak frankly. I have sensed in the fan base some indifference towards Survivor 49. People are excited about Survivor 50 coming
For
up,
sure.
but I think that coming in, there was like a little indifference. And then I think that the way that the season has gone so far in Survivor 49, I have sensed a little apathy towards Survivor and Survivor 49. And I can't really remember a time when I've experienced there being more apathy, especially when the episode is on. And maybe there's a little bit of a, hey, wake me up when it's Survivor 50. But so far this season, and I think it's gotten better every week, baby steps, and maybe it's going to be an exciting post-merge, and that's what Jeff has said it's going to be. But I just have not remembered a time when I have felt like the people, like even the hardcore Survivor fans, are a little checked out with this season.
Got it. I think it might be also just because it could be the burnout from just the new era, right? Like I think people have been watching and kept watching, hoping for
Yeah.
some kind of conflict or some kind of people aren't rewarded for being greedy. They're not. There's that like there's no killers anymore. They don't cast killers, right? Guys that will
Mhm.
do anything anything to win. Like they don't.
And Shane, compare it with Big Brother that you were there, and
I was in. I watched. I mean, I watched most.
you were in, and you cannot say there was any apathy towards Big Brother this past year.
Not at all, but there was some guys in there to kind of win. Like there's gamers in there. There's I think we've gotten to that whole point where like everybody, everybody claps when people
Yeah.
do good in the challenge, or everybody cries when people get
Yes.
evicted. Like that's
And I won't even say that it was the greatest game players, but there was drama in the Big Brother house. And I feel like that in Survivor, not to rehash this point too much, there is a lot of like personal drama in the players of them bringing in like, this is what I'm dealing with back home. There's not a ton of, at least so far to this point in this season, and largely in a lot of the new seasons, that there's not a ton of like clashing of the personalities. There's a lot of like, it's me versus myself versus the elements. What,
exactly.
can I overcome? Can I grow? But
Exactly.
we like the fighting.
I mean, people are competing for $1 million. They're trying to like. I don't. It's
But it's not about that. We don't talk about that anymore. We really, it's almost that the prize is rarely mentioned.
self-discovery, right? Finding
Yes.
out who you
The
really are.
prize is what will you get out of this experience, as opposed to the prize is a life-changing amount of money.
Can I ask a question, and you don't have to answer this? And it's
Sure.
not. I'm not. It's not being disrespect. Jeff is the showrunner. He's the
Correct.
executive producer. He's 66 now.
I don't know
64.
Jeff's exact age. That sounds about right, but I don't know exact.
Okay, so in the mid 60s. I know for me, just in the last
Looks great.
looks amazing. I know for me, between 50 and 55, I have mellowed incredibly, right?
Hmm.
So as a guy in his mid 60s who's put this show on for 25 years and he's allowed to make whatever show he wants to make, he's earned that. Do you think that there has been a mellowing? Like he's proven himself to himself. He's got all the money he'll ever need. He's got a wonderful wife and kids. His
Yeah.
life is good. Is there a little bit of that Rocky 3 thing where he's just soft and he's like,
No,
I don't.
well, I don't think that mellowing is the right word, because I think that Jeff, I think, is as driven as ever. Like I don't think that he is like, there's a like he's taking his foot off the gas in terms of just how much he's working on the show. Like I think he's
I mean more
grinding as hard as
chemical, like
ever.
more chemical, like
Yeah.
less testosterone, less.
I don't know about, well, I don't want to get into that.
Well,
But
no, I mean, oh,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. I
okay.
think that like when we came back in Survivor 41, like I think that Jeff, who was, I think, always like a hard ass with the contestants, came back into a little bit more of a grandfatherly, they call him Uncle Jeff now. And I think that he definitely has come back, and, he's a little bit more self-reflective of like, hey, I want to like give everybody a chance, and I wanted to allow people to be portrayed. The show is less mean in terms of like making fun of the contestants. And I think that there is a much softer edge from the show, where that they don't go out of their way to try to make people look stupid on the show, and they don't want to feature people in a very unflattering light. So in that way, yes, I would say that Survivor has definitely mellowed.
And the testosterone comment was not, it was not meant to. It's just when you turn, and I've
Mm-hmm.
gotten older. I'm just mellower. I'm like, want to go with the flow. Don't want to be like. It's just. I just feel like yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's the show that they want to make, and they've earned the right to make the show they're making.
Yeah.
And I watch it, and there's a lot of nights I fall asleep, and then I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, that kind of bums me out that I fall asleep during the middle of the show.
Yeah,
That
I
bums
just
me
wonder
out.
if it's a little bit of a misread of like what people are looking for. And I've talked about this, over the years, where, when Survivor first came on the air and you were there, early on in the beginning, it was a show that sort of looked at the depravity of human beings. What are people willing to do to get this money? Shane Powers once said, the person with the lowest moral code is going to be the person who wins the game, correct?
I said the person with the lowest moral code has the best chance of winning.
Okay.
I don't remember what I
Yeah,
said, but it
something
was a
like that. Something like that.
phenomenal comment.
Yes, great take. And so, and that's really what the show was exploring. And it was at a time where, we looked to reality TV to see this depravity, but, our politicians like, hey, everybody better be very well behaved and have good manners. And now it's kind of flipped, where we like have in Survivor, we look to it as it's the pinnacle of sportsmanship. Everybody loves each other. Give a hug to everybody who just voted you out, and shake their hand and say good game when you lose. Meanwhile, in the real world, that's the reality TV. Isn't
Right.
that crazy? In
Yeah,
25
no,
years?
it's no, it's super interesting how things have flipped and things are different. I also really believe that they have paid too much attention to the voices in the in the Twitter sphere and the Insta sphere.
Yeah. Well, they
They
do and they don't.
Okay, so tell me about that, because I like learning.
Because I think in terms of like when we're talking about the game and like what are we doing, three tribes, and like it's like no, trust us. This is the new plan. This is the plan. We know what we're doing. Let us cook. We know what we're doing. But I hear what you're saying about in terms of other
The
parts.
Gen Z kind of wokey,
Hmm.
which by the way is a wonderful place to be.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful place to be. I just had some recent experience, and we'll talk about it very quickly. But there was some kind of a thing where Jeremy was asked if he thinks Parvati's a two-time winner, and he said no.
Yes.
And then Parvati made a comment about it, two men being a thing, and I commented on Jeremy's post, and then I got 75 posts telling me that I'm a woke, I'm an
Hmm.
old man and a boomer,
Yeah.
and it's a bad take. And I just, it's whatever's going on right now is just it's wild. I don't think it would. Yeah, I
You
mean,
didn't like the pile on Jeremy.
I just think that Jeremy. First of all, the question was, does Parvati deserve to be a two-time winner? And he answered no. And then the respective
Yeah, I don't
universe,
even think it was deserve. I think is she should
a
she be
two-time
considered?
winner,
Yeah.
right? And then Parvati made that comment,
Yes.
and then there's just a whole universe of identity politics kind of people. It's just Jeremy wasn't making the he wasn't he wasn't having an opinion about it. Was He was asked whether the best female, like there was no
Right.
some
He wasn't he wasn't weighing in on it. Wasn't
on
a
yeah,
gender
like it
question
wasn't an
for.
affront.
Yes. Um.
I know you want to get off it, but
No, it's fine.
I do want to say this. Jeremy
yes.
has raised two girl women. I got
Yes.
shit for saying that, and I mean girl women because they're 19. They're like
They're in, yeah, college.
girls about to become women, right?
Yes.
Or in that, and they're unbelievably qualified as
College
human beings.
athletes. He goes to all their games.
He's an amazing
Incredible
wife.
husband.
He
Yeah.
would never, he would never, ever, ever. It's not even in his head, and so he's just had this put on him by somebody who, by the way, is a beast. Parvati is an absolute
Mm-hmm.
animal. She is absolutely on the Mount Rushmore of Survivor. She's one of the great players of all time. She's the combo of she's like Leonardo DiCaprio of reality TV because she's really good and you just want to watch her. Like
Mm-hmm.
she puts asses in seats and she's really good. So for someone to make it about gender politics and then it just felt really unfair. And I
Yeah.
listen, I don't talk
And
to Parvati. I haven't talked to Parvati in 10,
and
15
you're
years.
protective over Jeremy.
I am. I'm just, by the way, when I was making the comment, I was like, I don't do this anymore. Why? I took my Twitter down. Like, why am I
Yes.
doing this? And listen, I don't think Parvati thought through the comment. And I think she probably, I would hope that she regrets it, and because she knows Jeremy's a good guy. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
probably. Isn't there
Yeah.
some stuff going on between Jeff and Parv?
I'm not. I
No
don't know about
comment.
that. I don't know about that, Shane.
No, I
But
mean, is there like a? Is there? You don't got it.
yeah. But
There's been
if
some comments though. Was
if you
she asked to
could,
be on 50?
um, I don't know if she was asked to be on 50. I think that she had done Australian Survivor versus the World, although Sari was on it. But I think that for whatever reason, I don't think that they were talking to Parvati about 50.
Okay, so let's get into this. If you're,
Here, can I just say one thing? That
please,
as far as if you talk to Jeremy, can you ask him to say that I only lost Survivor 1.5 times?
yes, I will make sure that he says that you are a 1.5 time
Please.
loser.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you.
I
Thank
will
you.
have him post that.
Yes.
By the way,
Yes.
Jeremy and I wouldn't even consider us friends. We're we are people that
No, he's the greatest. I
know
love
each other from
I love
Survivor,
Jeremy too.
and I just think he's a wonderful man. I think
Hmm.
he's raised two wonderful children. He's a great dad. The guy went to the firehouse the day after he won $1 million. I mean, it's just the wrong guy to take a shot at. Like Parvati, shoot that at me, and you got a winner. Like there's been 13 different ways I've been a
Yeah.
misogynist prick. Like I get that, but this guy was just it was a bad
Yeah.
target for her.
So you said you wanted to talk about 50?
Yeah, I do want to talk about 50, but I also want to talk. Did you watch Big Brother?
Of
Are
course.
you okay? And I he can't talk about the traders because you were on it.
Well, yeah, because it didn't happen. It's not on TV yet.
Right. So it will happen soon. Do you do you feel good about your experience on the traders?
So I really I don't think I'm allowed to talk about that.
I get it, but I'm
Hmm.
trying like there's a whole nation of RHA peers that are trying, so I'm just gonna just hold give me another one.
Yeah.
The show lasts like 20 days to film it, or you can't say that either.
I
Don't
think you're
say
in the
that
right
either.
ballpark. I think you're in the right ballpark.
Okay. And you are not, it's not like Survivor in the sense that, like, here you go, game on, and then you're left alone, right? Like,
Hmm.
there is some production that's going on with the traders, correct?
I really, Shane, I do not, I
Okay.
don't have in front of me what I'm allowed to talk about or not. So I'll opt on.
It was well
I
worth
think there's plenty of like, things
cutting
online.
egg
Yes.
and all that. Got it. And do you feel like your time on the traders was beneficial to your existence in a whole? As a
As a
whole,
person,
did you learn anything about yourself, Rob?
I'll say I definitely did. Yes.
Okay, and this will help with the overall the thing that you are like the
Remains to be seen.
reality.
We'll have to find out.
But like insofar as you're going to have coverage, you would be the go-to guy. If I'm going to watch all your episodes, it
Hmm.
just builds the brand. It's a good thing, regardless of whether you got voted out first or
I
not.
hope so. Yeah.
Were you bummed that you weren't on 50?
So I was, just to go back to the spring. I was talking to them, and you know this. I was talking to them about 50, and I was really getting the sense that I felt like I don't think it's happening. I think that probably around like December, January, that was probably when I was feeling the most like, okay, this is going to be going on. But I really felt like I didn't hear from anybody for a while, and I really started to feel like I think they'd be talking to me more if this was really happening. So I was really getting the strong sense it wasn't happening, and I think I was at peace with that because I was very, I had mixed feelings about going back and doing it. I'd love to play Survivor. I truly would. It would be such a
This
thrill for me to.
would you like to play this Survivor
Um, I think it would be, I think it would be fine. I would, I really would be. I would love to play Survivor, but
again?
yes, I would. But I would say that the thing that would be so complicated is, what does that look like in terms of my livelihood for me to be a Survivor contestant? So if I could just go play Survivor and do the thing, and then I'd like not podcast about, we'd figure it out. But I just think there's so many messy complications, which are fair, like in terms of like it would be weird for somebody, it's like a little like incestuous of that. Okay, so now you have a guy who podcasts about this thing and now is also on the thing. It would be weird, and I think it would be very complicated, and I think that there would be some things that I don't know if I would be necessarily would be comfortable giving up so much control over this thing that I've built, which is
Sure.
like my entire livelihood. I
Two
don't know
points
what
to
that would look like.
2 points to that. If I'm a producer on Survivor, I'm a higher up, and you're on for 50. There's two things going on in my head. Yes, he should be on 50 for sure. However, he's more valuable to us if he's not, so that he can be
Hmm.
doing the machine while we're airing 50, right? And so that's why I think you got cut out, because you're more valuable to the franchise at being out and about and with
Look,
no
that's fair.
shackles.
I
And
can live with that. I would love to like have the opportunity to play Survivor. I think that there was definitely the concern of I could go out there and just get totally dunked on, and would my credibility take a hit for sure, I think. But I still would have done it. I would have gone out there and potentially made a fool out of myself, and people said, "Oh, like
I feel like there's a very good chance that you will be asked soon. I feel like they're in a situation where I came up with the most brilliant idea
yeah,
ever,
what was
by the
it?"
way. I have good ideas. One season a year needs to be returnees
Hmm.
with Jeff. And the other season, as he figures out what he's doing with his life, the other season should be newbies, and they should break in like you as the host, or they should recast that. And that's what they should do with the franchise.
Yeah,
You
I
don't
don't
like
know
that
about.
idea?
So listen, I'm not going to turn down if somebody at CBS says, "Hey, we want you to host the Survivor," but I don't think that that would be the direction that they would go. I mean, I could see maybe a different person named Rob being the person that they
Right,
might tap for
right,
something
right.
like that, but I don't know. I feel like that. I don't get the sense that Jeff is looking to walk away from any of this, and I feel like in terms of if they're looking to groom a successor, who's looking to groom a successor? He's the show. Like he's not sitting there and saying like, "Hey, we need somebody to replace me."
Right. Again, that would have to. We would all have to be in Jeff's head, and I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know
but
what that
a
means.
all-star season,
What do you
if not,
think about a returnee
yeah.
season and a newbie season every year, and he's the host of both?
Yeah, I think that that would be fine. I think that they probably, even if they said, let's do it every 2 years, like every fourth season is going to be all stars, or we're going to bring back people like 54, 58, 62, and at least just build it in. And that's like expected, that's what you're doing, instead of, they went 10 seasons without returning players. And then it was a cluster F.
Right. I Is there anybody from 41 to 49 that you think has earned the right to be on 50, whether they were cast or not?
Yeah, I
Carolyn,
think, well, but
Jesse,
sure.
there's a couple of
Oh,
people, but not.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And I think that there are people that like are do we look at them as sort of like the greatest players of all time? I'm not necessarily sure, but in terms of like huge characters, I think Q is another person who I think would
Q.
be an all-star in any era. I'm trying to think
Yes.
of
Those are good. Q, Jesse, Carolyn. Those are three great. Oh, I've mentioned two dudes and one woman.
so I'll give
I
us another
must be.
woman.
Who's the other woman?
Well, I would say Mary Ann is somebody also that I think is somebody that should have been there for season 50.
Interesting. Interesting.
She happens to have won.
Right. I Yeah, it's so funny because in 48, there's the kid's named Kyle that won.
Yes.
I mean, as far as gameplay goes, I think he put up one of the great games ever. I mean, I do. The way that he manufactured a few of those blind sides and put it on, made other people be, and I'm too old to remember, but
Mhm.
as I was watching it, I was like, this is some mastercraft shit. Like he could be back there with the greats. He really, really he had the one woman doing all the work for him, right?
Camilla. Yeah.
The younger, yes, and yes, the younger girl. And I thought he did an amazing job. Did you not like that? Did you not think that? Or
I thought that Kyle did a great job as the winner of Survivor 48. I don't know if they needed to bring him back immediately for Survivor 50. With all due respect to Kyle, I know that probably sounds disrespectful to Kyle, but I didn't watch Survivor 48 and say, as a winner, instantly, like he needs to come back, especially when it seemed like that so much of Survivor 50 was not people who had already won before.
fascinating. I'm sorry you weren't on, man. I know that you really wanted
But
to.
and you would ask me going back to would I have rather, what would I had rather have done? So I really was at peace about going to Survivor or not going to Survivor.
Sure.
And so then when the other opportunity came up, that it was something that I had almost no hesitation to go do, because I felt like that all of the things that I had apprehension about with Survivor weren't there to go do the traders.
It's so funny. You know what I do watch, and I fucking hate saying this. I hate it. I hate it, but I enjoy the challenge more than I enjoy Survivor currently,
I
right? In
didn't
the
know you
last
watched the challenge.
I'm a big challenge guy. COVID hit. I'd never seen it. I watched all 39, whatever, how many seasons. I'm like
Wow.
connected with them all. I mean, I actually am so into the challenge that I thought about like hitting you going, let me do a pod about the challenge because you don't have a
Yeah, this is
challenge pod.
incredible because I don't know that. Well, yeah, we do have challenge coverage. I don't do it, but this is fascinating that you are so
Oh
into it.
yeah.
Who
No,
are
it's
some of your favorites? Who are some of your legends
I
of the
mean,
challenge?
clearly CT is a favorite of
Yes.
mine, right? And you've got, and I really respect Jordan's game. I think Jordan's great. I think Bananas is ridiculous, but that it would all. How about this? I'll say a person, and based on you knowing me, tell me if you think I like them or don't like them.
Okay. And again, you have to excuse me if I am not like
Got it.
on the same level that you are with your
Got it.
challenge fandom.
Okay, Nani.
I will
What would
say
Shane think?
you like her.
I do not. I
Oh.
think Nani's ridiculous.
Hmm.
What about Anissa?
Hmm.
Do you know any of these people? You don't.
I know something because they did a one that was crossover with the CBS reality. And so some of these people played, but again, you have me at such a disadvantage, Shane.
I get it. I
This is the
get it.
shoes on the other foot now.
But just so that I get some cred with everybody listening, I really liked Tori is an amazing
Hmm.
player. There's a woman from the early
Tori
20s who was
Deal.
great. Tori Deal, yes, she's really good. By the way, Michaela from Survivor has crossed over. She's like a
Yeah.
dominant player. She's enjoyable to
What
watch.
about
It's
Michelle?
I have a tough time with Michelle.
Yes.
I have a tough time with
Because I don't know
Michelle.
her challenge persona. So what I only saw her in the one season that was the CBS reality.
She's okay. I mean, she's not. Yeah, I don't. I have a. You know, I don't. I have. By the way, and again, anybody if I say I have a tough time with or I don't like, I will preface I know this person and I don't like this person. Right? When we're talking about, I've never met Michelle. I don't
Hmm.
know. The only version of Michelle I know is whatever I've seen on TV or whatever she's tweeted or instead. Right? So I just have a tough time with. I have a.
Because I get the sense if you spent time with her in real life, I feel like that you would say, "Hey, that's a I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's a cool chick."
Say that again the way you said it. Did you mimic my voice?
I
That's a
tried
cool
to. I
chick.
half-assed it. I
you,
probably,
can't,
if you weren't here, I would have. That's a cool chick.
you can't half-ass anything in life,
But that,
man.
I'm
You know
basically I'm
that.
making you're like Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice is a pretty
I'm
great
the host
character.
with the most, Rob.
Beetlejuice is pretty great. Anyway, the challenge, and here's what's going on for me, is this is why I think there's still drama. There's still people trying to win. There's this competitiveness to it that's really great. There's
Hmm.
some scheming, and the show isn't trying to make a point. It's like TJ is dope. He smokes a lot of weed with his chick and rescues dogs, I would
Yeah.
imagine. And he shows up and he's thrilled to have his job, but he's not using the show as a vehicle to affect social change, right?
Hmm.
Does that make sense? It's just what
Yeah.
it is. And I feel like that's a
And
big
there's
problem.
diversity, but we're not necessarily like raising like awareness of all these different issues that exist
Well,
outside of the
I,
game.
Yeah, I think Jeff and the show has decided that on top of it being a show, it's also a vehicle to affect change positively in the universe, and that's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. And
They
that's
want to tell stories about all of these people, and they find people who have these things that they're experiencing or going through that are all, interesting in some platform, but sometimes we're just exploring too many themes, even in 90 minutes.
chat. The challenge is really good. You should dip in for. I mean, I know you got a busy life and you got,
Hmm.
but it's really fun. And they're in the process. They're losing all of the greats.
Yeah.
They're all in their mid 40s and they're being aged out because the show is difficult. It's not, it's
Yeah.
hard. And so now they're trying to grow these new people. And I believe Michelle is one of them. Michaela's one of them. Uh, they had that dude Jay. Jay was on for a few seasons.
Yeah.
God, he seemed fucking rough. That guy. I don't
Yeah.
know anything about him, but he just seems so rough. Jay from
Jay. Well, how
Survivor.
do you mean he seems rough?
He just seems like that's not the kind of guy I would want to hang out with.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He really seemed like that he was like a shoe-in to come back to Survivor, and it's kind of wild that he never did, but he ended up finding a
Okay,
lot of time on the challenge.
so let me ask you this. Do you think, and if I'm Jeff, I'm like, man, this fucking pisses me off. I made all these people, I
Yes.
gave them a life, and now they're out there doing other shows multiple times. And I would personalize them cheating on me by doing the other thing, right? And then if I'm Jeff, I'd have to look in the mirror and go, well, it's really beautiful. They gave us a lot. They sold us a lot of cars. And this now in 2025 is a profession. A reality star is a profession now. And you can go do multiple shows and God bless them. I don't think you should not put people on Survivor because they've done shows other than his. I think it's because I think it hurts the brand too. Because I want to see these people. I want to see you. I want to see Carolyn. I want to see Parvati again on my team. Like it's interesting. They're having they're having a minute over
Yeah.
there.
So I think that Jeff has, in at least at one point in time, I think was punitive towards the people who went and did other shows. I think more recently, he said that he had a change of heart and he doesn't feel that way. But I think it remains to be seen how many people that we see in on other shows, return back to Survivor. Sari did a lot of shows. She's on Survivor 50. Dee has done the challenge. She's on Survivor 50. So in some instances, it seems like they look past it. And then in other instances, it seems like they're a little more annoyed with certain people.
It's so funny. I think I saw a clip when Jeff was like, "It's Cerise. She can do whatever she wants."
Yeah.
Right. I think in regards to like, and I just thought that's why that broad is so good at these games because that's how you feel. You just want whatever she wants. It's all
Yeah.
good. Like whatever that is.
That's so
It's
interesting. So you feel
it's
like
so
it speaks to some of these people as players, where even the people who they get mad at other people, the people that they can't stay mad at, it just speaks to their social game.
it does, man. It's really, really fascinating.
That's interesting.
There is a magnetism and a likability about Cerise Fields that you cannot deny. That you can. I mean, it is undeniable. I
She can
mean,
do whatever she wants.
anything she wants,
Yeah.
whatever she wants, whatever she wants.
Yeah. That's great. I love that.
What else we got going on?
Well,
I'm not as like entertaining anymore. I'm not as because I'm just mellower. Not
mhm.
trying to like be bombastic or hyperbolic or I'm having a blast talking to you though.
I'm having a lot of fun too. So, did you care for last season? I know you
So
liked
the
Kyle's game.
so the yes, I liked Kyle's game. I really liked Kyle and Camilla. I thought that they had. It's really hard to be on like really be locked in, and then he was veering votes away from it. I really enjoyed 48 a lot. Most of the new era has been really tough, man. I'm just not gonna lie. I think the casting is there's just no villains. There's no conflict. It's all the same people. You fucking hit the nail on the head. This is not it's not about competing for $1 million. The edit now is about, or the show is about, can I prove this to myself? Can I endure? I didn't know that I was going to be able to do this, and now I can. Like that.
Yeah.
That's
It's
really a
shifted
brilliant.
to the competition isn't necessarily the other players. The competition is my own self-doubt. Can I do it? Am I able to overcome this, and how will I change in the outside of the game? And there certainly is definitely, okay, we have all these things and all of these tools that the players can use, but the tools and advantages sort of exist so that the players get out because, like, oh well, they had a thing. So it's not necessarily like, oh, I dislike you, Shane, I'm voting you out tonight. And we're so happy when we see stuff like that, like with Sage and Shannon. But so much of it is like, oh well, Shane has the vote doubler, so we have to vote out Shane tonight because he has a thing.
Right. It's a carnival. It's like an island festival. The thing that bums me out, they don't lose any weight. Like there's no fucking suffering at all on the show itself.
Yeah. I mean, they say it's very difficult. It's hard. We'll find out when people played Survivor 50 who have played the older game and then now will play in this format. They can be the like 12 people that can weigh in and tell us what the difference is between the two. They say it's very intense, but those are the only 12 people that could tell us the difference.
Yeah, I think it's yeah,
Tell me,
yes.
how hard was it in Panama? Tell me.
I mean, it was hard, bro. We suffered. Like it was brutal. It rained for 16 straight days. The sand mites were insane. The heat was insane. It was brutal. I don't think anybody on the show currently is sitting in a thing going, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Like I not quit. Like I don't know if I'm gonna like there's a starving, raining, freezing,
Hmm.
ouch element that just doesn't exist now. And I don't, maybe that's because they want them to run around and get idols. Like I don't, again, I don't know, but it is harder. The season 3 was ridiculous. The
Yeah.
one in Africa, your season was difficult. Like it's
I will say that and I actually played in Panama also in the All Stars, and that was really really hard. It's the rain, I think, is the hardest part of Survivor. And so in Survivor the Amazon, I will say that we were very fortunate that for the most part it was a pretty dry season, and then the rainy season in the Amazon started, and the last week was incredibly difficult because it just rained on us day and night, and we did not have a adequate shelter because it burned down.
And
And
you can't
so
keep a fire going, and the
and
fires and the
in
wood's wet.
Panama, that there were some of the worst storms I've ever seen in my life. The thunder was like immense and everything. Yeah,
It's brutal, and I think it hurts the show now because when you get people so brutalized and you get them so raw, then you get people forgetting that they're going to be tweeting or they're on television, or they just start to react from that, whatever that normal, whatever
yeah.
the,
Lizard brain.
that lizard brain comes out when you, especially when you just have really depleted them from everything. There was a producer, I don't remember, he produced the show. Maybe he might have been was there a guy named Doug who was the
Doug.
showrunner?
Yeah.
Wonderful guy. And after the show, he was like, "Yeah, we planned starting the show the last 15 days of the Panama rainy season. We
Mm-hmm.
beat the shit out of you. We give you no food. We give you nothing." By the way, that was back when you couldn't drink water unless it
Boiled.
was
Yeah.
cooked,
Yeah.
and we didn't drink water for 2.5 days. Like
Now, if
it
they
was.
say you're cooked, it means something totally different.
And then he said, after that 15 days, the weather gets better and you get food, and then you start to, then you, it's interesting. It's
Yeah.
interesting how different it is. And it's also interesting how, you know, listen, if you won Survivor 46, you won Survivor, period.
Mm-hmm.
Period, the end.
Yeah.
So,
So this season, there was a lot of talk about how hot it was and how they're dealing with the heat. Did you have times during Panama when the heat was oppressive?
well, I just felt like, I felt like you were just always uncomfortable. Was if you were hot, you just went in the water. I don't.
Hmm.
I'm a little confused about the sweltering heat, and they just go kick it in the water for 40 minutes. I don't. Yeah, I mean, listen. I maybe the heat was sweltering. Maybe it was 90-degree. I've been in sweltering heat, and it's a bummer. So yes, maybe they are
Hmm.
just gone through some brutal, brutal sweltering heat. And sweltering heat, by the way, is rough.
Yeah.
It's I was in Omaha this year. It was like 104 and 90-degree humidity, and I didn't want to move.
Hmm.
So kudos to them for living through the sweltering heat.
Let me ask
Kudos.
you about the season 50 cast. Now, I know obviously you are always a huge Cerise supporter. I'm sure you feel like she's going to do great. She's set up, right?
Well, so here's the problem. These people are leaving breadcrumbs by the way they're behaving,
Hmm.
right? I feel like Stephanie's going to go deep. She has been she was posting every 3 seconds
She's
with
doing a lot of
stories,
does a lot of posting. Yeah. All right. Well, that
and that she was
yeah.
quiet.
I'd rather not like do too much like
Well,
online
I'm
speculation.
here to
Yeah.
tell you, I have no idea a fucking thing on
Yeah.
Boston. You know what
I
that
have to have
means?
like cognitive dissonance of sometimes I see things and then I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna think about that. I have to just like compartmentalize.
Let's say
Maybe they're
so.
maybe they're trying to throw
Who do
you
you
off. Yeah.
who's your favorite, or who are you? How about this? Because you don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Who are you most excited to watch?
So I can give you like the interesting storylines about so many of these people of when it's going to come back. Now, Colby, I think, is so super interesting in terms of like what does it look like, because they say that he's coming back and he is like wants to redeem himself from the last time he played,
Got
where
it.
he really was allegedly embarrassed by how he came back and played. What does that look like to have Colby
That'll
come
be
back
amazing. Yes,
and see that? And I'm trying to think of like who else that that there's like a big question mark about, like, well, what does it look like for Mike White to come back after all of the success that he's had even post Survivor, to come
sure.
back? How much does he throw himself into playing in Survivor 50. I mean, Jenna Lewis has had a layoff for over 20 years since she came back and played. And she is not the type of warm and fuzzy personality that you're used to seeing on Survivor in
But that
modern
was
day.
20. This is the cool thing about some of these storylines. It was 24 years ago.
Yeah. Well, she played on the All Stars also in 2003.
Got it. Okay, so 23
Yeah.
years. That is a different human being, you would
Yes.
think, right? Like I would be I was 34 and athletic, I'm 55 and overweight and like losing my test. Like I am an old guy, right? And the emotion, like the mental capacity, it's just those people there's a few of them that have been on that will literally be generationally different than
Mm-hmm.
than when they were on, right?
Yeah.
How do you think Ozzy? Like, do you think
Oh, I forgot about Ozzy.
are you interested to see how he does?
I would say I'm a little less interested in seeing Ozzy come back. Like I get it why you would want to bring back Ozzy, and generally I am in favor of okay, bring back. This is the 50th season. Bring back the big names. So I'm not going to complain too much about Ozzy, but I really felt like that we only had Ozzy play in season 34, and it was a question of okay, here's Ozzy now. Was it Ozzy's fourth time then? And so I felt like that Ozzy didn't really have another gear. And I like Ozzy. I've like had positive experiences every time I've interacted with him, but I just don't feel like I have a question of, but what would Ozzy be like now? I feel like that the last time we saw him, we saw, okay, well, he doesn't really still have it in terms of being the physically dominant freak in the challenges that he once was. So I feel like even further removed from season 34, I'm not sure necessarily what the story is with Ozzy coming back, except that I know him and Coach aren't on the same page. And so I like the idea of there being some conflict that him and Coach don't love each other.
And Coach will be great. He'll
Mm-hmm.
because that's Coach. Coach is a magnetic, charismatic, engaging human.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever he does, you're going to want to watch him, right? So it doesn't matter whatever version of Coach we get, he's just got the thing, is what I like to call it, right? So he's going to do his job and be great. I'm really upset Kelly Wentworth wasn't on. I don't know why. She's like a national treasure to me,
Wow.
and she's done an amazing job. Like with the why is she not on?
I
You know all this shit. You're gonna pretend like you don't. You fucking
I
were
don't
at Jeff's
know. I don't know.
house. You were in
I don't
San
know. I don't know
Francisco, and you
why.
flew down to hang
Yeah,
out. Well, you
I just
stayed
I
at
feel like that she
Froze.
does that maybe I think after her last time that she played, I think she left the show on like less than ideal terms.
Got it. There is okay. Just there is a real there is a real problem with like the bias and stuff because if do you want to personalize things or do you want to make the best television you can make, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so Russell,
Yeah.
bummer. If I was ever in a room with him, there would probably be a scrap, right?
Yes. Yes.
It would be, it's 50-50 if him and I are throwing, right? There's no doubt. But that guy should have been on 50. Should he have not? He is he's one of the greats of all time.
Yeah. It's almost like if you could, and I'm not advocating for this, if you could get Sora AI to film the season and you get these people like in their prime and put them out there, it would be such a no-brainer to have Russell Hantz. But that I think that there are legitimate questions of his stability. Russell, don't get mad at me for saying this, but I
Do you
think
think
that
there's
there
legitimate stability issues?
I think that that would be the concern of, do they feel good about Russell and him not just on the show, but what is he going to say after the
I
show
get it. I
on
get it.
social media. And again, if you could just do this in a simulation, it would be it would be one of the first people you would plug in.
By the way, it would be the same worry that they would have had for me, right? You just don't
It's
know.
crazy that he didn't get a fourth shot.
It is crazy. He
Mm-hmm.
should have been back on.
Yeah.
Tyson should have been back on.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, it's weird to have all these people come out and be like, and kind of just. I'm like, wait a minute, Tyson, you wanted to go and you're not on? That's weird.
Yeah.
And that must have been challenge. I'm pissed he went and did.
Well, I think that they made a decision where they said, okay, we're not bringing back people from Survivor 40. And so I can I can color inside the lines of whatever you say the rules are. It's like, okay, we're not bringing back people from Survivor 40, but I thought it was we're not bringing back people from Survivor 40 because they were it was winners, and we're not going to bring back winners. But then they brought back winners. So I don't know necessarily like what the rubric was of like making the ultimate decisions. And I really, please, I know as people think this is sour grapes on my part. It's not. I'm just trying to put my head inside
No,
the
there's no, listen, there's no,
figure out what the logistics were of like how do you make these calls.
first of all, there's no sour grapes. B, there is this weird thing. Like I've been in the running 6 times to be on the
Yeah,
show, right? And then you're like,
you're the ultimate bridesmaid.
right. So there's all these times, and you're like, whatever. And then what happens is you're like, they start you down the path, and then you're doing all the stuff, and
Sure.
then you really want to go on. Then you're like, really want it, right? And then it's frustrating. Like, so I can imagine that, like, they start that cycle with you, and then you're like, and you're like, I want to be on this. Like, I want to do this again because you've started that process because it
Yeah.
is that onboarding that you have to do for 3 months before you go on the show. It's its own thing. You get all wound up. You start like processing yourself being out of your life. There's all and then there is this feeling of rejection. Like when you don't get on, you're like, why? Why?
Yeah.
Like in your head, you're like, why not? And it's tough. There are other people though, and again, I'm no victim, right? Every single time I put myself through the process, I made the decision to do that. That doesn't mean that I should be cast.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I should get on. I do not like the whining of people. Like the Jerry thing was rough. Like Jerry, they don't owe you anything. You chose to put yourself through the process.
Yeah.
You chose to go down the roads. You chose to do
And I
this.
think it would have been very fun to have Jerry back, especially Jerry and Colby. I think it would have been a fun.
By the way, probably should have cast her, right? Like I would have, but you can't be mad at them for not casting you. It's their
Yeah.
choice. It's their show. You don't just get to be on it because you want to be on it.
Yeah. But I would love to hear you talk a little bit about just the idea of
But I would love
the
to hear you talk about. Go ahead.
I really would because
Go.
I think you always have interesting opinions, and for better or for worse, you know, people may not like what you have to say, but you're not afraid to say it, and I think that that's always refreshing to have somebody on the podcast who thinks that way and doesn't just say
Is
what
that
everybody wants to
controversial?
hear.
What I just said? It's
No,
not
I don't. I
controversial.
don't think so. But I'm sure somebody can misconstrue it and take it as it being anti Jerry. And
But that's the world we live in now.
sure,
Like we can't really that ship has sailed. There's a nation of people that are on their computers and they think that if they've been effective on social media, they got a lot of likes, they got a lot of retweets.
yeah.
So
Up. And they got him. They got him, and they took out Shane. They finally got their wish. They got him to be quiet. Okay,
exactly.
let's see. Okay,
So all of that, there is a nation of those people that, and it's just it's a
yeah.
frustrating, interesting time.
Okay,
And by the
but
way, this could be a lot of your listeners, and I'm sure they hate my guts. Don't care.
but the idea of I had it once, and now you think about going back, and it really is not that the show is doing anything nefarious, but there is like a bit of I'm not even sure what the right word to call it. I don't want to say it's necessarily a sickness, and I don't want to say it's necessarily like a addiction, but you had that one hit, and it's perverse that you go through the machinations of like, okay, but I'm gonna go back, and then it's gonna be wait until you see what happens. Like once I just get back.
So I have broken that part down, and this is what I think it is. No matter what goes on in your life, and I've had a big life, right? The biggest. You cannot in your real life replicate the experience of being on Survivor. And when you do it and you survive it, whether you win or lose, it's the experience of a lifetime. And when someone says, yo, there's the opportunity that you get to have one of the great experiences of your life that you can't replicate anywhere else, you can't. When someone potentially invites you to be back on and do that again, the immediate answer from everybody is an auto yes in their head. And then they might talk themselves out of it. They might be like, never. They might think, no, I didn't like the way people talked about me. But that guttural thing is yes, of course I want to do that again because
Mhm.
I can't do it anywhere else.
Yeah. And you're chasing a high that almost nobody is going to get. Like maybe out of the people that come back, almost everybody's gonna have a worse experience than the first time they played.
So that's my question because I don't. You did it the second time. It
Yeah.
wasn't as good as the first time, right?
No. No, it was
Not at
not.
all.
No.
Because it's not new, because it's all you've processed a lot of you've had a lot of the
Well,
feet.
because I didn't do well either.
I get that, and that's some ego shit that you got to figure out, right? But I would
Well,
imagine
and it's been 22 years, so I'm okay.
I would have it is. I would
Yeah.
imagine the second time though just didn't on any level capture the feeling of the first.
I mean, it did while I was getting ready to go.
Right. But then you get there,
Got there.
right,
It was downhill from there.
right. It's interesting.
Because almost
I
everybody was like the star of their first season. That's how they got to be on the All Stars. And then almost everybody is going to have a worse experience on the second time out. And maybe somebody will win, and maybe they didn't win
interesting.
before.
That's
And they'll say, this
interesting.
was great. This was my incredible time on. But like, look at like the season that you got left at the altar of at Second Chances, where that you had what? How many people were on that season? Was it 20 people that ended up going? And of the 20 people that ended up going, who had a better time the second time than the first time? Jeremy and Kelly Wentworth. I think that's it.
Right, right. That was a fascinating experience.
Mm-hmm.
Going through that was really strange
Maybe
because
Kimmy Kappenberg also had a better, but she probably feels like, hey, I almost, I should have won. I was right there.
right,
But other
right.
than that, like of the 20 people, 17 are like, this was this. I hated this.
I was closer, I think, honestly, I was closer to getting on heroes versus villains than I was the second
Yeah.
chance.
And then here comes okay. This is so interesting now. Okay, so we saw the other night that here's Jeff, Survivor 49. Okay,
Really weird,
says
really
to the
interesting.
people, hey, just so you know, we still have spots that are open for season 50.
I didn't like that choice.
And there's some people, there was a young Shane Powers out there who was in Survivor 50 who ends up losing a spot to somebody who's going to be from Survivor 49.
I didn't like that choice they made creatively because it tells the audience we're not happy with what you're doing, and so we've got to throw you some other kind of like bone to
Mm-hmm.
try to get you to start doing whatever we want you to be
Yeah, I
doing.
was really surprised that was in the show. I had heard Jeff in an interview talk about, and then we told them that there were still spots in 50, and then they really went like, oh, I was like, oh, that's interesting. But I was shocked it was a part of the episode.
I was really really blown away by that choice as well. for sure.
And
The
maybe they thought, because obviously, if you're playing in the 40s, everybody knows about Survivor 50. I think that maybe some of these other players in Survivor 47, 48, okay, obviously, I know I'm playing for a spot on Survivor 50. Maybe these people on Survivor 49 thought, like, well, the books are closed. There's no way I'm getting on Survivor 50. I'm just part of this filler season. And then to have it be, by the way, you still, like, we still have, there's still a chance.
right, the breadcrumbs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a really interesting
And they
choice on
can
their
obviously
part.
cut that out if it
Uh,
turns out that there's nobody that we want. We'll just
right.
take that out.
Well, they were in the middle of casting at that point. I think they just thought that we're going to hold two spots for, I feel like there's just
Yeah. Well, I think that, like, just to go backwards, I'm not sure at what point in time they are at in the calendar when they're at this point in Survivor 49. I think that they're probably like sometime like April-ish while this is happening. So they still have like a month and a half or so. I'm talking out of my butt a little bit in terms of I don't know when they filmed Survivor 49. I am trying to think of when like when it must, I think it was sometime in April. I think it must have been.
right. And they had to go right back, correct? Like directly, or did they have some time?
I believe that they were home
They were home
because I
because Russell
believe
had to
when
go. Russell had to go right back.
Yeah, when I interviewed the Kyle and Camilla and Joe for Survivor 49 after the season, they were, I believe, they were back in the United States for that. So they certainly spent time at home after.
Got it. Got it. Are you are you comfortable with Are you comfortable with the structure of the 26 days and the Fiji and
Yeah,
I know it's all budgetary and I get all that.
yeah.
Is are you is it are you do you hold anybody that wins the 26-day survivor in the same regard as someone that won the 39?
Um, it's a good win. I think it's more of a half win. No, I have no issue with
I
it. I
can't
remember
believe these
I
two
no.
dudes.
I mean, for the guys that did it, I think it's fine. But no, in all seriousness, I've never complained about 26 days. I really haven't. I understand that the 39 days is more of a pure game. People get at each other's throats more, but I've never really complained about the 26 days. I think that there's a lot of downtime. I'd love to see like if they had some sort of a middle ground. I feel like 30 is like a decent round number where you could give it a little bit more. But I've never been a big complainer about 26 days, and I think it's fine. I have more issues with the formatting of it always being three tribes and some of the stuff they do where, and I was very grateful they didn't do mergatory. We just had a normal merge. I don't like when they merge and then they break them back up into two tribes. I don't like that. So I will complain about the specifics of the format, but I can live with the 26 days.
I just thought, me too. I mean, I honestly don't care that much. And if you win Survivor, you win Survivor. No one's asking, well, which day count Survivor? There's none of that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this though: on day 19, I was out there, and I was like, I'm not even fucking halfway done
Yeah.
in your head. And the 26, you're like, I got a week left. Like I could, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? I could do this on my head. Like day 19 is still, it's still like, man, I could get myself into a lot of trouble at like it's another month basically. So, but again, at the end of the day, this show is different. The treats and the give a idol and a give a vote and a share a vote and a fuck. It's a fun house. It's Jeff's. I know he probably takes that as an insult, but it's not. It's Jeff's Island Funhouse now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I call Survivor,
Yeah.
and it's fair because it is. That's what it is. It's his funhouse.
Did you like when they had the themes? Do you think that they should go back to that once they get through Survivor 50? Do you want to see them go back, or are you okay with the numbers?
I mean, I think there's something interesting about the themes because it then it then dictates the way you're going to cast the show,
Mm-hmm.
right? Brains, brawn, beauty. So I could, yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of beauty anymore.
Hmm.
There's not there is like I would watch the show and go, fuck, I don't know if I could do that. Like that dude's a beast. Like the Jonathan Youngs, like, and there is a little bit of the like. It's fun to look at really hot chicks in bikinis for 13 weeks. Like all
And
that's
hot
gone.
dudes
And hot dudes,
in
of course. Like I
Speedos,
just said Jonathan
tight.
Young,
Yes.
the big dude who's like back on 50. Like
Hmm.
there is something aspirational about like, man, am I like I don't know. It's all
Yeah.
yeah. I don't.
How about this, Shane?
Everybody's
If
pretty
it,
average. I there's like a
yeah.
everybody on the show is just pretty average now.
Hmm.
There's not that many. There's not except like I don't. And all these people are gonna be like this fucking old. It's
So,
not.
let me try to quantify what you're saying a
Please
little bit. Okay.
articulate what I'm saying.
We have people who are phenomenal their in their maybe the quality of their character, of that these are like outstanding people. If we were hiring at our company, all of these people would be standout candidates to come and work at our company. They would
Agreed.
be
Very
wonderful
nicely
candidates
Very
that
nicely
in the old
articulated.
days you would cast more flawed people of that maybe, and you'd get a person that's like, okay, this is a person who is a knockout with their looks, but maybe
A kook.
isn't the smartest, sharpest crayon in the box, and but you would also have somebody who is maybe kind of a sleazy guy, and I mean like a Brian Heidick type of like a used car salesman,
For
or
sure.
yeah, somebody who is like a little bit rough around the edges. And we have like these wonderful people who go out to play, but then they're sometimes a little conflict averse, and that comes from being so unproblematic, that they come out there and everybody's just very excited to be there, and we get a lot of kumbaya, at least until in the very beginning of the show. And so sometimes the first half can be kind of slow because everybody is lovely.
Well, but that's also the show can't do anything about that because the show is an institution and because the show is what it is and it's part of the lexicon.
Mm-hmm.
There is you can't like people are just fucking thrilled to be out there, right? Oh my
Yeah.
god, I can't believe I'm on Survivor. Like that that surreal thing. That's very real, and you can't. There's no way to cast 16 people. I mean, I guess there is, but you'd have to get 16 people that aren't super fans that are like learning on the fly, but then
Mm-hmm.
also want to win. And you've also got to look at their MPI or MM and whatever that thing is. And you got to like the borderline
Yep. Yep.
criminal
Yep.
and the, you got to,
It's not easy
in a
what we're
chase
asking
to
for.
be diverse,
Yeah.
we are lacking real diversity on this
In
cast, socially,
Yes.
emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like we're not, and again, I'm very into the diversity thing, hugely, but we have homogenized this thing.
Yeah.
By the way, and they could be like, you're right, and this is what we want, and this is the show we want to make, and
Mm-hmm.
fuck you, Shane, and great. I mean, that's yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, they've
I
earned
mean,
it.
you're not the first person to say what you're saying. Like, I think a lot of people feel that way.
I get it.
Yeah. Okay. What
I
else
have
is on
it's
your mind?
I anything you want to ask is what's on my mind.
How's everything going with Jolene Coffee?
Things are great with Jolene. We are very, very lucky. We are
Yes.
incredibly lucky.
Can
We
you talk? I don't know if everybody knows about who your partner is in Jolene Coffee.
so nice. That was a nice segue into me talking about the famous guy. So 7 years ago, I my buddy Anthony Kiedis and I, we've been friends for 25 years. Anthony is sort of my Eskimo in the life that I'm living now, right? I'm 13 years sober, and we
Can I ask,
bonded
what do
over.
you mean that he's your Eskimo?
Well, we have bonded over we have bonded over living a certain way of life, right? And in that,
Okay.
we had coffee. We've had coffee every single Thursday for the last 20 years.
Wow.
And a lot of beautiful things have come from that. If we're both in town, right?
Yeah.
It's not ever, but Thursdays are our night. And he has sort of led the way. He's had more experience in living a life that I choose to want to live. And in that, every Thursday for the last 20 years, we've become very close. He's like an older brother, and we've laughed, we've cried, we've yelled at each other, we've made the most ridiculous jokes. Like, we've had this beautiful friendship. And 7 years ago, I was like, let's start a business together. Like, let's build something. Let's do something together. And he was like, bro, I got a job. And I was like, I know you got a job. But in the downtime, have you ever thought, is there anything? He's like, I don't know. Let's do a coffee. We have coffee every Thursday. Let's do coffee. And so I was like, that's fascinating. So then I went and got a friend of mine, John, who runs the sort of is like he's sort of like the scion of LA nightlife. He was immediately attached. And then we spent like 4 years trying to come up with something in the can that was good enough, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of different opinions about me, but I am a very authentic individual. And so we spent this amount of time trying to get this, because the coffee would taste great, but then you have to, when to put it in a can, it's got to go through this process called retort. And because you want it to be able to live on a shelf for a certain amount of time, because that's how you can make a lot of money as opposed to a good amount of money. And so the retort process for the coffee was brutal. Every time we get a sample back, it just wouldn't be it would suck. And then we were getting closer, and we were like, fuck, it's good, but maybe we'll go with it because we want to get going on this. And then we call each other the next day, and to our credit, we never we never skimped in the mortar, so to speak. So the product is amazing. For an RTD coffee, like canned coffee, it's the best. Like La Colombe, we wanted to be better than La Colombe, and we are. And so, because the coffee is the secret weapon, the actual product, we have really gained some serious momentum. We're in 1,000 stores in New York. We've got all these different chains. We're hitting Gelson's in Los Angeles starting December, like first week of December. And I've had the joy of learning a new business, right? I've never really built a business from the ground up. I had a club promoting business, but it wasn't a business. It was three guys on cell phones. And we were very good at it. And we ran
Hmm.
LA for a very long time. And it was fun. But I've never really built a business. So part of the journey in the history of my life is that I really wanted to do something like this. I wanted to build something. So we're in the process of doing it. Sales are through the roof. We couldn't be any happier. We're almost a little weirded out because it's going way better than we thought it would. And it's I just want to reiterate to people, because I think people get very, very, very hung up on the end. When I get to the end, it'll be great. When I get to the end and we get all it done and I get all the money, or I get the girl, or I get the job, or whatever it is, we so focus on the end so much. And most of our life is lived in the journey on the way there. And so I really am doing everything I can to sort of enjoy the journey, because
You have to.
the end is going to be the end. And then the second the end happens, it's like, okay, what's next? Because we're human beings. So we're really focused on enjoying the journey, doing this together, and the people that, that we've hired. It's been a blast. And yes, the end will be great. And the treats and the prizes and all that stuff is fun. But that's not why we're here. Like, we're here. I've always, yes, you're where you want to be. Yes, you've got a lot of different ways to grow. That's really beautiful. But when I think about Rob as a podcast, I think about being in that shitty little apartment on Magnolia, right? And you were like trying to
It
run
was
this.
Riverside.
Sorry, but you're in this small apartment, and I'm like, what is this fucking guy thinking? Like,
Yeah.
what is how is he seeing any sort? Like, I fucking got dog hair on my couch. Like, what? There's no. and just to watch your journey from that to a house with children, and it's like it's just been fun watching your journey. It's I don't give a shit about
Yeah,
the end.
but
Like
it's a
the
great
end.
reminder of, trying to be present in the moment of doing the things. And it's something that I have to try to remind myself to do. And I'm very fortunate that what I get to do is so fun. And I sometimes when I'm doing things like this and talking to somebody like yourself who is really interesting, it's actually very easy to be present and be here in the moment, especially when we can't have phones or anything, devices or anything like that. So it is, a really fun thing, but it is a great reminder to try to stay present as much as possible.
Because we're going to live 99% of our lives in those margins. The 1% is the beginning and the end. Like, you got to really just, like, 1+1 this shit every single day and really kind of experience
Yeah.
the beauty and the hard and the fall and the down and the good day and the bad day. And I didn't get that ad and fucking this or and this guy won't come
Hmm.
on. And, like, whatever it is that you got going on. Like, how about this? Congrats on the book.
Thank you.
What is the book, and what am I expecting out of this book?
Yeah. So the book is a lot of so. Let me, the
There you
tribe and I have
go.
spoken, available
By the way, this was
robhasAbook.com.
not planned. This wasn't a
Yeah.
segue. Rob wasn't like ask me about my book. This is just a
Yes.
very
So the book is really my journey of starting with me as a person who was a broke college student who found this crazy TV show. And that's sort of like a way to get into talking about the first season of the show and what I think is the appeal of Survivor. I talk about all of the greatest moments in Survivor history. We talk about all of the great heroes and villains and sort of like that Survivor sort of like as Greek mythology, talking about like who are all of the gods of Survivor in terms of not quite gods, but you know what I mean.
yes.
Talking about what's the best strategy to play the game. Talk about like sort of the evolution of the show, and it's really a coffee table book that it's filled with art, and it's really full color and beautiful. And there's all sorts of things that are inside that I think are going to be really fun for the Survivor fans.
And did you have to get signed? You had somebody at CBS had to sign off on all that?
You know what, Shane? That's such a interesting conversation. Shane, tell me, who's your best friend in Survivor?
Who's my best friend in Survivor?
Of all the survivors, is
Who
there
is the
one person?
is there one person that I communicate the most with
Yes.
about Survivor? It would be you.
Wow.
But you're not my best friend. It's not. It's we're
Wait, hold
friends.
on a second. What?
No, we're friends.
Yes.
Sari and I are close.
Yes.
Terry and I are close. Aris and I are close.
Yeah.
Like close-ish.
I wasn't sure if there was like somebody who you have a like a particularly close relationship with.
I am not particularly close with anybody
Mm-hmm.
from Survivor. I would consider Sari a friend. I would consider Terry a friend. I would consider Aris a friend. I would consider you a friend. I would
Mm-hmm.
consider Julie Berry a friend. I would consider there's one more person that I would consider. There's one person that I am not friends with, but I would really like to be friends with. I would like to and that's Austin Carty.
Oh, really?
Austin was on my season, and he is a pastor in South Carolina, and he has sort of positioned himself as one of the what not a leader, but one of the guys that's really sort of trying to stake a route as a moderate Christian, right? Not that he doesn't, and I don't mean that in a bad. He's everything that's good about the church and God, if that makes sense.
Okay.
He's there is some when you think about the far right or the evangelical or Christianity, you think you immediately, for me, and listen, I'm not Christian, so if you're Christian, you're thinking about something else, but you're thinking about dogma and you're thinking about uh, excluding people and like not liking gay people and abortion is and all of those social things that Austin really does a phenomenal job of being instead of like this,
Calling people in.
he's inclusive
Yeah.
of it's just really beautiful and cool what he's doing, and I think it's super important because I have people in my life that are religious and it has helped them emphatically. My mother
Hmm.
is religious. She's an unbelievable woman. She spends every day trying to think about how she can help her fellow man. Religion, the spiritual angle of religion is really beautiful. The
Yeah.
man-made part where it's trying to control people and exclude people, Austin's doing a very good job of charting his own path, and so I would like to be closer with Austin.
Yeah. Is there some sort of a rift that's preventing that, or it's just the distance?
It's just distance. It's distance, and him and I have never really reached out to. How about this? I don't even need to be friends with him. I just really, really love what
You
he
like what he's doing?
represents. I
Yeah.
love what he's doing, and thank God we need more. We need more Austin Cardis in positions of leadership in the church. Is what I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah.
God only knows what that means. Who's your best friend,
Who's my best
Steven?
friend? Of any of the survivors, Steven's the person that is. Steven's like a brother to me, and we don't see eye to eye all the time on everything, but we've done the podcast together for 12 years, and what I've really come, and he's like a brother to me in that even the things that are like his foibles, I find endearing,
Right.
because like it's like, yeah, that's so Steven that he does that, and I'm charmed by even the things about him,
Yes.
like
You
his
you love him.
imperfections. Like
You love him.
I love Steven.
You love him. That's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool to love someone. Yeah, I know you've got. I know you've. I know that I'm not. I'm a real no new friends kind of guy. You seem to be too. Not because you're not a personable, likable, like want to have friends guy,
It's hard
but
for me to have friends because I work so much. And
right,
so a lot of times when, okay, great, work's over, I sort of
kids.
want to, like, not that I'm on and I'm a different person, but I do have to, it's a little draining to, do this type of thing. I know I make it look easy, but no, it is like, it can be a little bit of a
Seamless.
drain. And my wife will also get frustrated with me where, what she wants, my wife always wants to have parties. She wants to have, like, invite all these people over for a party, and then
I ain't
after the
never been
party,
invited.
well, okay, if you're in the area, come on by. But
You
then
and
after the party's over, I like get a report card of like, oh, all my friends said that your husband doesn't talk, he doesn't do anything.
oh wow.
Why isn't he? And she gets frustrated. She's like, oh, if put a microphone in your hands and he's the life of the party, but then when the like the kids the parents come over, you're not doing. But I don't have anything to say.
That and I'm rich, so relax. This is what rich people do. They don't talk a lot. They just sit in their life. They sit in the corner.
I
They
say, hey,
overlook
did
their
anybody
thing.
see Big Brother this week? No? Okay, I've got nothing. What do you think of
Uh,
Survivor 50? Oh, nothing? Okay.
you're friends with Jesse though, right?
I love Jesse. Yes.
You guys are close.
Yes. Yeah. He lives about 30 minutes away, and his son is a year older than my oldest son, and my kids worship Jesse's son.
It's weird how circumstance will bring people together for many years, and
Hmm.
then the circumstance of your life changes. And like, I got a friend of mine who moved to Brentwood,
Yeah.
and he might as well be in Idaho. Like, I'll never see the guy again. That'll be it. Then we hang, and now it's over. Like, I just,
Hmm.
I had a great friendship with that guy, but
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it's interesting how that works out. What is the next Rob has a podcast event?
Live show?
Yeah,
I mean, we'll see. We're planning stuff for Survivor 50 right now. Maybe
got it.
something near you.
So we're done for 49.
Done
There's
for. I'm
no
not
more.
doing any more shows for 49.
Got it. Okay, great. And then have you been to what is the Survivor Cafe?
So in Boston, that there is a place called the Greatest Bar. I'm not sure if, like, in your line of work, if you are familiar with all these other non-LA venues,
Okay,
but the Greatest Bar is a like 4-story sports bar in Boston that once employed one Boston Rob Mariano as a bartender,
got it.
and the owner of the bar, his daughter, Shannon, was a participant on Survivor this season. She
Got
was
it.
voted out a couple of weeks ago, but Survivor, they do this thing where they used to call it a beach drop. They've called it, like, in different cities, where they do sort of like a pop up installation where you can do the challenges. And this season, they set up a permanent home in Boston, the Survivor Cafe, where you can go there and eat Survivor menu food and then play some of the challenges.
Got it. Have you been?
I have not been there. I was actually at the Greatest Bar. We did a meetup for Rob's podcast in the spring, but
Before it was the Survivor Cafe.
Before it was the Survivor Bar. So I have not been there as it's become the Survivor Cafe.
Okay, so will Survivor be around in 5 years?
Yes, I think so.
Will Survivor be around in 10 years?
I believe so. I think it could look very different. But I think that as a property, I think that it is just something that is going to be, too hard for people to let go of.
Will the Traitors be around in 5 years?
Yes. I mean, look, hopefully we're all around in 5 years. But, if we are, I'm hoping that these things will continue on.
It's interesting. There is maybe you don't want to answer this, but I don't remember when it was. That's why I'm asking. But I do remember having a conversation with you, and you said,
Uh-oh.
I got to start branching off into these other shows
Yeah.
because God only knows about
Yeah, God
the
only knows.
life.
But I would say that I
Is
feel
that
like
when
that.
you? But that's not the question. The question is,
Yes.
is that when you felt Survivor had jumped the shark?
No, I don't think. Excuse me. I don't think I ever feel like a Survivor has jumped. Certainly not then. I didn't feel like. I think that maybe you could say, oh, in the new era, Survivor has jumped the shark, and I don't think it's impossible for them to change things around and come back. But I think that in the history of Survivor, and maybe you could speak to this from your own experience, is that Survivor is always 2 years away from being canceled, all throughout its whole history. I'm sure when you played in Survivor 12, that they were like, well, 16 is going to be probably the end.
Right.
Or they said, like, in 16, they're like, okay, we're going to go till 20. I remember going to, a watch party in the 20s, and like, oh, yeah, 30 is going to be it. They're going to go till 30. There's actually, more security for Survivor at this point in time, I feel like, than there had ever been in its past.
And that's because they've got the budgets down, they've got everything locked in. It's a machine. It makes what it makes, and
Yeah.
they're happy to have it. And
And I
it's
think that there's some
eyeballs.
questions around the Skydance of it all and the acquisition of Paramount. I don't think anybody on the outside knows what the new corporate ownership of Paramount, what they want to do. They may say, we love Survivor. Let's do 3 seasons a year of Survivor. Or they may say, like, hey, let's get it down to 1. Let's do it on the back lot here in LA.
Right.
You don't know.
You don't know.
And I suspect also they may not know.
Are you interviewing all of the people that get voted off?
Yes.
You are. You're still in that. And are you doing know-it-alls or no? I haven't seen a know-it-alls.
You
Or
ever
are
seen
you?
I mean, yeah, I didn't do it this week because I was in San Francisco, but Steven did it with Owen.
Got it. I don't think I've seen it because I'm off Twitter.
Yeah.
So that's where I get my
Well, you got to
Rob.
subscribe to the podcast, Shane.
How do I do that?
Go to robhasawebsite.com/subscribe or go to getrhap.com.
Exactly. See, it just flows back and forth. They didn't mean to do that. And you got your plug.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, are we done for
I
now?
think so. Yeah, this was I don't know, this was longer than I expected to go. How about for you?
I mean, I think that when we start talking and we haven't talked in a while, things come up and we
I
talk
think
about
you're
them.
a fascinating person to talk to, and I think that you keep it very real. I never know what you're going to say, and while my sphincter is firmly clenched the entire time, I'm on the edge of my seat.
What did you? What's been our best interview? I think the best interview we ever had was the Survivor, the funeral part after
Yeah,
Second
when you
Chance.
came, yeah, I mean, it was so raw, and it's so different than that we could never even do an interview like that now with the current cast. It's very much that sanitized and everything, but that was real emotion and the real like conversation about it was so fresh.
Was I
It,
out of hand in that?
no, I don't think you were out of hand, but you came in and you said this is the last time I'm ever going to talk about Survivor ever.
Right. I was hurting.
Yeah,
I was so because I this is what that meant for me, and then we'll get off. I was completely delusional
it's still
in
up
my
on
head.
YouTube if people want to watch it.
They can. I was completely delusional about what I meant to the Survivor universe.
Hmm.
Like I thought I was a lock. I thought I was an absolute lock. So to get that and go, oh shit, right. I'm not living in any sort of real reality about who I am to the Survivor world, right? Because I would have bet on me. Well, no, there's probably a few others that I would have been like, no, he's a lock. But
T-Bird, right?
why has T-Bird never been on? Do did
I
she
don't know.
rob a bank?
I don't think so. Um, I don't know. I can't speak on it.
You don't know? She's
I'm.
never been.
I mean,
I
she
mean,
doesn't
isn't
know. I mean, if she knew, I think she would tell me.
isn't like the whole universe just like why is it? I mean, I feel like she's the one of the most sought after. Gotta have her back. Like, why is she not been back on? That is so wild to me,
Hmm.
especially after the reaction for her not getting on Second Chance.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Anyway, all right, we done?
we're done here. All right. Anything else you want to tell people to check out?
No, I'm
Okay.
good. Jolene Coffee. It's
Joe.
it's jolenecoffee.com, but it's at stores everywhere. If you live in New York, it's there. And drink it, don't drink it. Tell a friend, don't tell a friend. We're having a blast.
Hmm. Okay. Check it out. All right. Shane Powers. Thank you so much, everybody. We got so much more Survivor coming up. Things are heating up. Don't let anybody tell you it jumped the shark. It's about to get good.
Yeah, Jeff's Island Funhouse is fucking roaring,
Okay. All
ripping
right.
and roaring.
But in all seriousness, thanks everybody for checking out this interview. I appreciate it. And thank you, Shane. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.
Enjoy the
Bye.
journey.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.